I have always worked the hardest to do things that somebody else told me that I couldn't do. The problems came up when I was telling myself that I couldn't do something. Um, the things that are happening right now and are about to happen in the near future uh, would be completely unheard of if you would have talked to me a year ago. I think a year ago I was in jail or trying to get a job pushing shopping carts or something like that. I mean, and not getting hired. So, uh, yeah. And then last week I was wearing this hat in the gas station, and a lady came up and asked me for an autograph, saying, "Did you write that thing?" Phone. Sorry. Now, uh, I do not believe in the idea of fans, and like Cheryl, love you to death for making the Dan fan hashtag. Please don't do that anymore. That's not a thing. Uh, I still frequently pick my nose while I drive and fart myself awake. So let's just hammer that right back down into the dirt where it belongs. But I've made a lot of really good friends throughout this process. And some wonderful things have happened. And I've met amazing people and had the opportunity to collaborate with some amazing people. I get the question a lot, how do I do what you do? There's no secret. You get the skeletons out of your closet, you open up and you share. And you do it with the goal of helping one person. But the real magic happens if you're able to help maybe a few people, and then that drives them to want to help other people. Because I am painfully aware of my own limitations, and I don't know how long I'll be able to go, 18, 20 hours a day. Just, it's not going to happen. My body won't put up with it. My daughters won't put up with it. And if I ever, God willing, find a girlfriend, she's not going to put up with it. Believe me, I've been dumped for this multiple times. But the point is, it's better to be dumped for wanting to help people than it is to be rejected for trying to hide who you are. And I've had that too. Had background checks pulled and dumped because of that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is be yourself, tell your story. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I mean, we're back to the Wild West these days, especially where recovery is concerned. So to sit and bicker back and forth or argue about, which support group is the best or which um, 12-step meeting or smart recovery or Suboxone and methadone and just battling back and forth. I mean, people who use meth hate people who use heroin and vice versa, saying that one is worse than the other or better than the other. I mean, it's just like these politics and the infighting. There's no point, you guys. I mean, it's it's absolutely ridiculous. If you take any time to look at pop culture, I mean, take a serious look at what the general public is seeing and hearing about um, addicts. The best example that you will find in pop culture, in my opinion, it's not Train Spotting, it's not Requiem for a Dream. It's a show called You're the Worst. And the roommate buddy heroin addict in that is the best character that I've ever seen and has the biggest heart and is such a good example of the people that I see and deal with on a regular basis. Now, don't get me wrong. People who suffer from addiction or are in active addiction can be assholes and just horribly difficult people to deal with. That's the drug talking. Maybe they're assholes sober. I don't know. But the point is, um, there are a huge number of people that are struggling with an addiction of some sort who wouldn't hurt a fly, who would open your door, who would carry your groceries for you, who would come and visit you while you're sick. Anthony was a kid who was a great example of that. I helped Anthony get off the streets, got him a hotel room to keep him safe for the weekend, and cost me an afternoon and $150. No big deal. But then Anthony goes out that next morning at like 5 a.m. He goes to 7-Eleven and he hears somebody crying from like behind the store, and it's already started to get cold. It's, fall is setting into Utah, and it's rainy. He goes around the back of the 7-Eleven. There's a woman who had her wheelchair stolen. Okay, she was laying on her back in the mud, covered in her own feces. So Anthony could have called the cops. He could have done his due diligence and waited there until the ambulance showed up. No, he scoops this lady up, carries her 4 blocks and up 2 flights of stairs into his hotel room, puts her in the tub, gets her cleaned up, gives her food, gives her clothes, everything, and then he calls the paramedics. Now, I had said to Anthony the night before, look, man, you keep going, and I promise in 6 months or less, you'll be doing the same thing that I'm doing for you for somebody else. That's the true beauty of this. That's the key, and that's why it helps me more than it helps you, and you'll understand that someday. It didn't take 6 hours, let alone 6 months, for him to be reaching out. So call it pay it forward, call it what you like, but I think that the best thing that happens in this is when you feel your passion and drive to help people um, fuel somebody else's fire and passion, and watch them start to do things that you maybe played a small part in but didn't even know were going on. So